Okay, so the mass spectrometer. The machine automatically moves the samples around. So you can actually tell the software, like, this particular well here has this sample in it, this one has this sample, this one has this sample, and then you load it and you walk away. Now, one sample could take an hour to run, and so you can tell it 10 hours or whatever. Like,
the spell is broken. We live again.
So, my friend Michael has done this where he's run 24 samples and it just ran for a straight day. The big issue with that is the machine can have hiccups where it'll just stop working. And so you have to be very careful when running the samples. Like, you're not running anything too precious because you end up going to lose the sample, and that's less than ideal too, right? Not every sample takes an hour either. It just depends on what resolution of images that you want, right? So, like, do you want to know all the compounds, or if you already know what compound you're looking for, then you can run a much shorter experiment targeting just that particular region of the spectrum. So the next thing they showed,
that's done using UV light.
This here is the spectra. This here is what the actual experiment looks like. You see those little peaks? So those little peaks tell you how many of a particular species is there in the sample. And by species, I mean of a particular chemical and how it's modified. So the higher it is, the more there is of it. NMD asks, how long is the 2-month sub-badge round? 1 month. It does change at month 3. So you go NMD, you go from an egg to a little larva to a little pupa with a pacifier. That's months 1, 2, and 3 before you start growing up into an adult ant. NMD, I have a proposition for you. If you help get us to partner, and I will make the little larva be an emote that you can use forever. That's my proposition to you. We will have the life cycle stages in the emote slots when we hit partner, just for you. Just for you. Help us get to that point and we'll do it. They're like, well, Kevin's not going anywhere. Kevin's, I think, one of the most used emotes. The love is the most used, and then followed closely by Kevin. I very much like Kevin. So this is the mass spectrometer data. Yeah, look, mass spec readings. So when you're actually pulling out this data, you're able to there's software to actually dissect what these spectra mean. So a researcher won't look at these peaks and be like, okay, this peak is clearly this kind of thing. No, there's software to dissect it. So you can actually click on it, and like, I can't demo it on the software, but if you on the video, but if you click on this particular region, it'll show you what molecules are comprised in that little spectra. So you can actually learn a lot about just looking at these peaks. But even by eye, what we can say now is that the peak on here, the y-axis is amount, relative abundance. So the higher the peak, the more abundant it is. On the x-axis is the size of the fragment. So when you put in your protein, it's shot through an electric beam, it's broken up, and then the size of the piece that it's analyzed, it'll be bigger if it goes further out. And that also provides information of how many components are stitched together. For these guys, when they're looking at the honey just to look at product quality, they mentioned those 3 different components. They're only running the mass spectrometer on a very, very short window of time to look and see if those 3 things are present. To actually analyze and see what all is present, you have to run the sample for much longer, and you have to do many more samples, because there's always also background noise. These instruments are hilariously sensitive. If you're not allowed to wear makeup around, or not makeup, perfume around them, because the smell of your perfume will get into the machine, and that'll be analyzed and be put out as data. This is it pulls out ambient air levels. That's why you always run a blank as well. So Here is what the machine is just detecting of just everything just being in the air. Line is not significant. The line is not significant as time or anything. What do you mean, Master Smikes? What do you mean, my friend?
The spell is broken. And we live again.
For you, Dakum. For you, because I felt very bad, and I had an idea today. I was like, it's a shame that that emote is just going there, not being used. And I was like, no, I got this.